Today we'll be going over the top resorts in Walt Disney World broken down by category. Hello and welcome to the Let's Go to Disney podcast. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Lucy.
Today is Sunday, March 3rd, and you're listening to episode 25, Top Walt Disney World Resorts by Category. Before we get into today's main topic, here's what's going on in the parks right now. Disney dropped surprise bookings this week. Much earlier than normal, they opened up the 2025 bookings on February 27th for stays January through the end of October for 2025. Of course, this comes with the usual price increases across the board for tickets, hotel stays, and the dining plans. They also updated their cancellation policy for room-only reservations. It used to be you could cancel for a full refund for up to 5 days before check-in. That will now be 8 days going forward. Vacation packages remain at 30 days for full refund. Disney confirmed that current hotel perks, including early theme park entry for all resort guests and extended evening hours for guests of Deluxe resorts, will remain for 2025. They also announced a new resort hotel perk. On your check-in day, Disney Resort Hotel guests will have access to either Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon for everyone on the reservation. This is only for check-in day, so this may or may not appeal to you depending on when you arrive.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. We usually arrive like later afternoon, so I don't see us taking advantage of this, especially with the kids.
Yeah, I agree.
But having said that, if you are arriving earlier on in the day, you can 100% drop off your bags at your resort and head out to the water park and get your vacation started early.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Universal Orlando is busy, and they released more details on DreamWorks Land opening this summer at Universal Studios Florida. There will be areas themed to Shrek, Trolls, and Kung Fu Panda, including the new Troller Coaster. Universal is seriously upping their offerings this year and next, and so it's a great time to be planning a trip to Universal as these new offerings start to become available this year and next. Disney released new details on Fantasy Springs at Disneyland Tokyo opening on June 6th of 2024. The new land will include full areas themed to Frozen, Rapunzel, and Peter Pan. The spaces look absolutely phenomenal, and I'm so envious that this isn't in the domestic parks. It's all the more incentive to eventually make our way over to Tokyo, which my sister-in-law would love.
She really would. Her and her husband would love to be able to join us at Disney as long as we go very foreign.
Yes. So Tokyo.
Yeah.
It will include restaurants and brand new hotels. It all looks so amazing and immersive, and I can't wait to see more. Disney Parks blog has a YouTube sneak peek video that is definitely worth checking out, so I suggest you guys do that. If you find yourself in Disney World in the coming weeks, expect crowds. Spring break season is in full swing and the parks will be busy, and stay busy with little to no break until the end of April. That should do it for the news. Side note, here today, it is snowing super hard, and we just did some shoveling outside, and there is no signs of slowing down.
No, I know. We are definitely dreaming of warmer days in Disney coming up.
Yeah, 100%. And on that note, Lucy and I had our advanced dining reservation window open up this morning. So we were lucky to be able to snag all of the reservations that we wanted.
Yeah,
it's going to cost us an arm and a leg. But we discussed it at length, and we know that we have a small window of time while the kids are still little to really enjoy those character meals. So it is character meal heavy.
But worth it for us to see the excitement on our kids' faces.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was a year ago that they went last. So I think it'll be really exciting.
Yeah, agreed. So on our last trip with the kids, our daughter was pretty sick for the first half. So we were wanting to revisit some of the places we were at last time so she could really thoroughly enjoy it, hopefully this time. And hopefully nobody gets sick.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even though she was really sick, she was on antibiotics and she was still the happiest little girl ever.
She did, yeah.
Despite
She was
being
a trooper.
sick. So
yeah.
I think as long as we're all healthy, this will be even more magical this time around.
100%. Totally agree. So we booked Cinderella's Royal Table for our first park day at Magic Kingdom. Last time we were there, she enjoyed the characters, but she wasn't 100% like we said. So we definitely think it's worth doing again. And she's super excited about that. We also booked Storybook Dining at Artist Point. Similar deal here. Poor girl. It was probably her worst day here last time.
Agreed.
Lucy and you guys were in the washroom for like half the time. Yeah.
Our poor son too. He was just, he just kind of sat there and he ate all his food and he enjoyed it, but it wasn't the same with having his sister there excited with him.
Agreed. Yeah.
So we're excited to do that one again.
Yeah,
and we're staying there at that hotel. So
yeah, we're staying at Wilderness Lodge. Absolutely.
So
yeah.
It'd be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. We booked Space 220. A lot of people say this is a one and done for them, but we've been twice now and both times it was really good. And our son is a huge fan. So that was definitely on our list.
Yeah, that was his kind of
That was his request.
That was his ask, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. We're doing Roundup Rodeo Barbecue again. Not to be negative. I don't like to be negative when it comes to Disney, but we were possibly at the worst table in that whole restaurant last time.
We literally all were stuck in a corner, and we had like a 3/4 wall. And
it was more than 3/4. Yeah. Like you couldn't see over it. So again,
we could see just the people sitting next to us. That was it.
Yeah. So it's just unfortunate. It's like if you walk in there to the right, kind of back to where the kitchen is, you can't miss it. There's a one table that's like in a little nook, and you can't see anything around. You can't see the rest of the restaurants, and that's where we were. And I didn't have the heart to ask for a different table, but I kind of wish we had.
Yeah. So we're hoping for round 2 will be a lot better.
Guaranteed if we
This was the last day too that our daughter was not feeling 100%.
Yeah.
So we're just really excited because they were so excited to be there, and our son really enjoyed the food here. So I think this will be a win again, this one.
Agreed. We're doing Topolino's breakfast because it's quite simply amazing. The absolute best experience last time, and we want to do it again.
Yeah.
Like best character meal on property, it has to be.
Both kids requested this one again.
Yeah, 100%. We're also doing Via Napoli because it's a fan favorite for us.
Yeah, it's easy. It's delicious. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. We're also doing a couple of new for us reservations that we haven't done yet. So Summer House on the Lake and 1900 Park Fair. So 1900 Park Fair is the only one we weren't able to make this morning. And that's because reservations don't open until Tuesday, March 5th. So by the time this episode releases, we'll know if we were able to snag one.
Yep, absolutely.
We were super happy that we were able to get everything we wanted pretty close to the times we were wanting. So we're calling this a success.
It was very much a success. Even though we had to wake up a little earlier, we wanted to on a Sunday. Totally worth it.
Yeah, 100%. With that said, in today's episode, we'll be going over the top 3 resorts at Walt Disney World in each category. There are over 25 resort hotels and campgrounds to choose from. These are broken down by categories, which are deluxe, moderate, or value. Okay, so there are also deluxe villas, which are part of DVC, which is Disney Vacation Club and Disney's version of a timeshare. These resorts have the same perks as deluxe, and a lot of them have essentially separate buildings or towers at the deluxe resorts. So I'm just going to lump them in all together here and call them deluxe resorts, okay? They have the same perks. The distinctions are very small. Assuming that you've chosen to stay in a Disney resort, when choosing where to stay, it can certainly be overwhelming with all the options that are available. So I'll preface this by saying that every Disney resort, regardless of category, has something to offer, and depending what you're looking for, it will appeal to a certain subset of travel parties. And also note that every Disney resort, regardless of category, does come with certain perks, okay? So the main perks are early theme park entry, so you'll be able to access each park 30 minutes before official park opening each day of your resort stay. And this includes check-in and check-out days.
Absolutely. And you'll be able to get individual lightning lanes at 7 a.m. instead of park open like it is for non-resort guests.
Yep, absolutely. You'll have complimentary Disney transportation to and from the parks. So there'll be different options depending on where you're staying. This also includes transportation to and from Disney Springs, Blizzard Beach, and Typhoon Lagoon.
Another perk is you'll be able to use your Magic Band as your room key, make charges back to your room when making purchases in the parks or at Disney Springs. And this is a small perk, granted, but it is something that is really convenient. And we love using our Magic Band as our room key. And the kids do too. They get excited opening the door every time.
Yep, 100%. The Magic Bands come on as soon as we get off the plane, essentially, and we start using them right away.
Absolutely.
Also, as a resort hotel guest, you can order your Magic Bands ahead of your trip for a discount. However, small note here, this only applies to U.S. residents. International guests used to be able to have them shipped to their resort directly prior to their arrival, but Disney removed that option late last year, so only for U.S. residents.
Yeah. And you can make advanced dining reservations at 60 days for the entirety of your stay for up to 10 days. So that's exactly what we did this morning.
Yep.
And what this means is that all guests have their dining reservations open at 60 days from their trip. The difference for Disney hotel guests is that you can book dining for all the days of your resort's hotel stay, including your check-in and your checkout day for up to 10 days. But if you're staying off property, you have to make these individually at 60 days for each specific day. This is a huge perk because you can make all your reservations at once. It's done. You don't have to worry about it then. And you're much more likely to be able to score these hard-to-get reservations like Topolino's Breakfast, Cinderella's Royal Table, Storybook Dining at Artist Point, Space 220, amongst many others.
Yep, agreed. And on that note, you'll also be able to add the dining plan, right, the Disney dining plan, either the quick service plan or the standard dining plan to your reservation if you choose to do so. Okay, so this is not offered to offsite guests. So something to keep in mind there if you're wanting to add the dining plan to your vacation. Note, the dining plan returned very recently on January 9th of this year. And essentially, it's a way for you to prepay for your food at Disney. Okay, so you're given credits to use for snacks, quick service, or table service meals, depending on which dining plan you choose. If this is worth it to you is very subjective, and you have to crunch numbers, right?
Yep, you have to do the math first and just see if it works.
Agreed.
As a resort guest, you'll also receive free parking at your resort and at the parks. Parking at the parks does add up, so this is definitely a nice perk of staying on resort. Though, to be fair, you are paying premium price to stay on property, so there's that. Daily standard parking at the parks is about $30 per day, so for multiple park days, this cost is not insignificant. So if you're staying off property, make sure you're budgeting for that.
Yeah, agreed. Parking,
some people don't think about that.
100%, and it's gone up consistently, and it's likely to keep going up, right?
That's one of the absolutely things. That's probably where they make a lot of money.
Yeah, agreed. A brand new perk that was just announced, like we said earlier, is that starting in 2025, Disney Resort guests will have a complimentary access to either Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon on their check-in day. Okay, so if you arrive earlier in the day, you could drop your bags, like we said, at your resort, head into one of the water parks for a few hours. Again, this may or may not appeal to you, but it is a perk that is coming in 2025.
And lastly, this perk only applies to Deluxe and Deluxe Villa Resort hotel guests, which is extended evening hours. So on select nights, usually this is Mondays for Epcot and Wednesdays for Magic Kingdom. Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom has had theirs during specific times as well. The parks will stay open for Deluxe Resort hotel guests for 2 hours after official park close. So that can definitely be worthwhile if you're staying in a Deluxe Resort hotel to have way lower ride times. But having said that, Deluxe Resort hotels are generally very expensive, so only you can decide if that's completely worth it for you.
Yep, agreed. So as you can see, okay, there's several perks that come with staying on property. Another thing that I want to mention quickly is that there's something intangible about staying on property as well. Okay, so I compare it to coming home, and you'll see that all over social media. Okay, but like, I really mean it. Hear me out. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. After a long day at work or after being away from home in your bed for a while, it's so sweet to walk through your front door in the comfort of your space. I get a super similar feeling when I enter the Disney bubble. It's just a sense of peace, like everything's going to be okay. And I know I can switch off for a few days and truly enjoy myself and allow myself to be a kid again. I'm more mellow in Disney, and I think you can attest to this.
Yep.
I just enjoy things more freely, and I can just be calm.
Agreed. 100% it changes you in a good way.
Yeah, 100%. And okay, that's my sentimental pitch done with.
Yeah.
Only you can decide if that's worth it to you.
So true. So are these things worth the extra cost to you? Obviously, we can't decide that for you. We try and give you this information so that you can have the full picture of what you get by staying on property, and then you can decide what's best for you and your travel party.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, assuming that you've answered yes to that question, you've decided to stay on Disney property, and you want to know which resorts you should consider given the huge selection of resorts on property. So we're going to give you a list of our top 3 in each category, and hopefully this helps you narrow down a list of potential candidates to help you decide where you'd like to stay during your trip.
Yep, 100%. So let's kick things off with value resorts. So there are 5 value resorts, but really there's only 3 because 3 are one, and I'll tell you what I mean in a second, okay? So you have Art of Animation, Pop Century, All-Star Movies, All-Star Music, and All-Star Sports. So as you may have guessed by their names, the All-Star resorts are technically separate resorts, but they're all right next to each other and share amenities. So in practice, it's one large resort, so I'll lump them together for our purposes today. So coming in at number 3 is the All-Star Resorts. So these resorts are closest to Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. On the map, if you can visualize it, they're south of Coronado Springs and Blizzard Beach. Okay, so they're themed to, you guessed it, music, movies, and sports, depending on which area of the resort you're staying in. All-Star Sports has the Grand Slam and Surfboard Bay pools. All-Star Music has the Piano and Calypso pool, shaped like a guitar. And All-Star Movies has the Fantasia and Duck Pond pools. For dining, each of them have food courts and pool bars, but there are no table service restaurants at any of these. Okay, so the theming, in my opinion, is best at All-Star Movies, given that there are large statues of movies that your kids will likely recognize.
Yes.
So there's something to consider there. This resort only offers bus transportation, so there's no other form of transportation other than driving available for this resort. Okay, so this is my least favorite of the value resorts. Limited dining and transportation options and theming at All-Star Sports and Music is good, but there is better on Disney property. So
agreed.
Number 3.
Coming in at number 2 is Pop Century Resort. This resort sits just south of Caribbean Beach Resort and not far from Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Much like the other large resorts like Caribbean Beach, Coronado Springs, etc., this resort is split into neighborhoods. And since this is Pop Century, the names of the different areas are decades of the 50s through to the 90s. Each area is themed to the specific decade. The rooms here have been refurbished recently, actually, and they look really good. There are 3 pools: the bowling pool at the 50s, the hippy dippy pool at the 60s, and the computer pool at the 90s. For dining, everything pop, shopping, and dining in the main lobby is pretty much your only option aside from the Pedals pool bar at the hippy dippy pool. Transportation is what easily slots this probably as number 2.
Yep, agreed.
So this resort is connected by bus to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, but it shares the Skyliner station with Art of Animation, which connects it to Hollywood Studios and Epcot, which is a huge plus in terms of transportation options.
Yeah, agreed. That alone just sets it apart.
Yeah.
So you probably could have seen this coming, but number 1 for Value Resorts is Art of Animation. So this resort is south of Caribbean Beach, right across the lake from Pop Century. It is another large resort with different themed areas to Finding Nemo, Cars, The Little Mermaid, and The Lion King. There are 3 pools to choose from. So the Flippin' Fins pool themed to Little Mermaid, the Cozy Cone pool themed to Cars, and the massive Big Blue pool themed to Finding Nemo. Okay, this is actually the largest pool on all of Disney property.
Which is a cool little fact.
Yeah, 100%. So for dining, they have the Landscape of Flavors, which is a massive quick service with different counters of different options. They also have the drop-off pool bar at the Big Blue pool. Transportation is bus to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, and they are on the Skyliner, which is a shared station with Pop Century that connects Epcot and Hollywood Studios. They also have family suites here as well, which sleep up to 6, which is a nice option for larger families or if you're just looking for more space, but they are quite a bit more expensive. They get closer to deluxe prices, so just something to keep in mind there as well. The theming of this resort is what really makes it number 1 for us. The lobby is super vibrant and inviting. The artwork from Disney and Pixar movies your kids will recognize is just really nice. It's like bright and airy, and it's easily the number 1 value resort.
Yeah, I would agree completely. Next up are the moderate resorts. So these will be a little bit more expensive and will offer more options in terms of dining. Transportation and proximity to the parks is the same as value resorts, however. You won't find moderate resorts walking distance to the parks. That's completely reserved for the deluxe resorts.
Yeah, agreed. Yep.
So coming in at number 3 for the moderates is the Caribbean Beach Resort. There's a lot to love about the Caribbean Beach, so don't think we're knocking it by putting it at number 3. There's just some things that we like more about 1 and 2, but we'll get to that in a minute. So the Caribbean Beach is just south of the Riviera Resort, and it is very close in proximity to both Hollywood Studios and Epcot. And in fact, it is so close to the Riviera that depending where you're staying at the resort, you are closer to the Riviera Skyline Station than you are to their actual Skyline Station.
Yeah, 100%.
At Caribbean Beach.
Like if you're at this Skyliner station at the Riviera, there's literally like Caribbean Beach buildings like a 2-minute walk away. So there's several buildings at Caribbean Beach that are super close to the Riviera Skyliner station. So it definitely makes more sense to walk there if you're staying in those. So just something to keep in mind there.
Caribbean, or I keep saying Caribbean Beach, it's a massive resort, and I'm talking massive.
Yeah, huge. Yeah.
It's very, very, very spread out. So depending where you're staying, it would be a decent trek from the main lobby. And there are several pools here. There are 5 leisure pools, 1 in each neighborhood. Plus the flagship pool is the Fuentes del Moro pool, which is massive with 2 slides. It's very cool.
Yep, 100%.
For dining, they have Sebastian's Bistro, which is a solid table service option, as well as many quick service options. Centertown Market and the Grab and Go, Spyglass Grill, and the Banana Cabana by the Fuentes del Moro pool. For transportation, it's located on the Skyliner route, and the main station at Caribbean Beach is actually the main hub that is the line to either Hollywood Studios or Epcot. So it's very convenient in that sense.
Yeah, 100%. So like, just for an example, let's say you're coming from Epcot and you want to go to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
So you would take that Epcot line all the way to Caribbean Beach, and then you'd actually have to get off and do a transfer to take the Skyliner then from Caribbean Beach to Hollywood Studios.
That's right. It's a huge
kind
hub.
of like, it's like an elbow essentially.
And it's kind of nice too because they have a coffee shop right before you get onto there.
Exactly. There's a Joffrey's right there.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, like we said earlier, it's close enough to Riviera that depending on where you are on the property, it actually makes more sense to grab the Skyliner from there. They recently refurbished this resort as well with the Little Mermaid rooms that are very, very nice.
They
super
have like
cute.
teal accents and they're super cute. Agreed. Yeah, 100%. Coming in at number 2 is Port Orleans Riverside and Port Orleans French Quarter. Okay, so I know these are 2 separate resorts, meaning if you go on the Disney World website and book, there are separate resorts with separate booking categories and everything. Okay. But having said that, they are physically right next to each other. And a lot of the things we like about each are similar. So we're lumping them together here for these purposes. Okay. So in terms of location, they're just north and east of Epcot, closer to Saratoga Springs and Disney Springs. The theming at French Quarter is very quaint. It's a very intimate resort with a beautiful lobby with tons of glass. The rooms have inner courtyards along the water that are very nice. Riverside just down the road is a much larger resort with neighborhoods like the other large resorts, but it has a much more relaxed feel and vibe than Caribbean Beach, for example, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I would agree.
The lobby at Riverside is bright and airy, and the grounds are super beautiful. French Quarter has the double lagoon pool. The flagship pool of both resorts is Old Man Island. Okay, so guests from French Quarter also have access to this, but it's quite a trek to get there. So you could walk. It's probably like close to a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, your kids might complain about it.
Or you just take the bus. You can do that as well.
That's true.
Riverside also has 5 other leisure pools in the neighborhoods, 3 in Alligator Bayou and 2 in Magnolia Bend. For dining, Riverside has Boat Wright's Dining Hall, which is a table service option, as well as Riverside Mill Food Court and 2 bars, River Roost and Muddy Rivers. French Quarter has Sasagula Float Works and Food Factory, as well as Scat Cat's Club Lounge, which is a bar, and then Scat Cat's Club Cafe, which is a quick service, and that's where you're going to find those delicious beignets.
Completely delicious, completely worth the trek out there.
100% to die for, 100% worth the stop, even if you're not staying at either of these resorts.
Yeah, and we've actually had family. My cousins have stayed there with their families, and they loved the French Quarter. They had nothing but good things to say about it. Yeah,
honestly, like it's super... like a very nice resort.
It's beautiful,
very
actually.
Very quiet.
Very New Orleans.
It's small, like much smaller than most resorts. So it can definitely be worth it to stay there 100%. For transportation, you can take a boat to and from Disney Springs, and it's bus transportation to the other parks. So although transportation is a touch less convenient here, the feel of the resorts are really good. We really like Port Orleans.
Yes, I agree. And coming in at number 1 for the moderates, and a surprise to no one if you've been listening to our podcast for a while now, is Coronado Springs Resort. So Coronado Springs is considered to be in Animal Kingdom's resort area, but given its physical location, it's actually very close to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. And from the higher floors at the Grand Destino Tower, if you're facing the street and not the interior of the resort, you can see Hollywood Studios and the Spaceship Earth and the Epcot fireworks, which we have witnessed.
We've stayed in rooms like on the 11th floor, the 14th floor. And we've seen fireworks from there. Yep.
Absolutely. It's also not far from Animal Kingdom as well. And the location is absolutely great. The resort grounds are beautiful. And the Grand Destino Tower is just so impressive. And it's somewhat new. It opened in 2019, shortly before the pandemic closure. So it's in really great shape. And we absolutely love staying there. It is our favorite when we are just the 2 of us.
Yep. Agreed.
In terms of pools, there are 3 leisure pools throughout the neighborhoods, and the flagship pool is the Lost City of Cibola pool with a huge slide.
Yep, agreed. It's super nice there.
It's very nice. For dining, this is where the resort shines. It has a phenomenal top floor option in Toledo, which is a lovely restaurant with tapas and other delicious foods. They also have the Maya Grill, Rick's Sports Bar and Grill, and one of our absolute favorite places to eat on all of Disney property, to be honest with you, is Three Bridges Bar and Grill at Villa del Lago.
Yeah, agreed. It's literally like in the middle of the lagoon there and intersects 3 bridges.
Yeah.
Open air dining. It's just...
It's perfection.
The sangria, the food, everything there, the vibes, we just love it.
We always go there when we first arrive because we arrive a little later in the afternoon when it's just the 2 of us, and we pretty much drop our bags off, head on over to 3 Bridges.
Yep, agreed. Yep.
Yeah, we love it. They also have El Mercado de Coronado, which is a large quick service location, Cafe Rick's, Barcelona Lounge, Dahlia Lounge, Siestas Cantina, and Laguna Bar.
Yeah, 100%. And Barcelona Lounge is on it's not the ground floor. Like, so when you come in the front doors, there's
that
like the
looks
lobby.
Like it's the ground floor.
It looks like it's a ground floor, but there's a floor below that. It's like the lower level, and that's where the back of resort is. But anyways, that's where the Barcelona Lounge is, on that like lower level floor, and they open nice and early, and that's where we usually grab a coffee first thing in the morning before we head out. Yep.
They have these big canisters, and they just give you a cup, and you go and grab your coffee. It's perfect.
Exactly.
For a moderate resort, it's got some truly stellar dining options. For transportation, this is the weakness of the resort.
Yep,
We will
agreed.
say that.
Yep.
It's only buses to everywhere else, and it's a large resort, so it actually has an internal loop.
With 4 stops.
Yes,
Yep.
with 4 stops, exactly. So having said that, given its ideal location, it's not far to get anywhere from there.
No, 100%.
You just have to deal with the internal loop first.
And people have asked us that before, like, how long does it take on the bus to get anywhere? Honestly, it's probably like 5 minutes to Animal Kingdom and like max 7-8 minutes to like Epcot and another 5 minutes to Hollywood Studios. The furthest park is Magic Kingdom, but that's true for most resorts.
Yep.
So super convenient. Yep.
Very true. Yeah.
And then lastly, deluxe resorts. So deluxe resorts are the most expensive and range from expensive to outrageously expensive. Okay. So to give you an idea, at low times like the end of August and early September with discounts applied, you may be able to find certain room categories for around $500 a night, but almost always a little to much more than that. Okay. So oftentimes getting closer to $1,000 a night or more. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on those discounts or prioritizing lower seasons. Or another great option is renting DVC points from services like David's DVC Rentals, where you're essentially renting points from a DVC owner for a lower price than it would cost to pay rack rate directly through Disney. It's worth looking into that as you can save a significant amount of money this way. Having said that, let's get into our top 3. So unlike value and moderate resorts, Disney World has more resorts in this category than any other. So it's difficult to pick a top 3, but here goes. Okay. So coming in at number 3 is Wilderness Lodge. So Wilderness Lodge is in the Magic Kingdom area resorts that is not on the monorail loop. So having said that, it's not like it's far from Magic Kingdom, but it's certainly not as close as the monorail resorts like Grand Floridian, Contemporary, and Polynesian.
Yes.
The lobby at this resort is jaw-dropping. Okay, so the architect that designed it also designed the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and both lobbies are just so impressive. So the exposed wood, the super high ceilings, it has that Northwest-style lodge theming, and it's just so well done. And at Christmas, they put a massive tree right in the middle of the lobby, and the whole place is just so magical.
You've never, it's hard to even describe it.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely worth checking out, even just to stop in at the resort to check out the lobby if you're there at Christmas
totally worth
time.
it. Yeah.
One of, if not my favorite lobby in all of Disney World. Okay, so in terms of pools, there are 2 here, the Boulder Ridge Cove Pool and the Copper Creek Springs Pool, which has a water slide built into the rocks. So the space back here is beautiful as well, and it's really well themed. In terms of dining, you can expect deluxe resorts to have good options, and it doesn't disappoint. So it's home to one of the harder to get reservations on all of Disney property, and that's Storybook Dining at Artist Point. Okay, so this is a character meal featuring Dopey, Grumpy, Snow White, and the Evil Queen, and it is legitimately good food. You've got Geyser Point, which is, agreed. So Geyser Point is an open air dining location near the Copper Creek Pool overlooking the water. I love this place as well. It reminds me of Three Bridges in the sense that
I would
it's
agree.
Open air dining. It's got kind of like pub food.
There's very yummy food.
Yeah, agreed. We love it there. Whispering Canyon Cafe is a good time as well, and Roaring Fork is a solid quick service option. So you've also got Territory Lounge there near the entrance to Storybook Dining if you want kind of a late night drink. And for transportation, you can take a boat to Magic Kingdom, which is a lovely ride. And
it is.
Buses to the other parks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So coming in at number 2, Lucy and I were split here. Okay, so you're going to hear second choices from both of us. So you go first.
Okay, so I absolutely love the Riviera. The grounds are gorgeous. The resort feels modern and upscale, and there are solid dining options here. And the pool is great. It's just right off the Skyliner route. In terms of location, it's very close to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. You can see both parks from the higher floors, as well as the Epcot fireworks. It's got its own Skyliner station, and it's a short ride to Epcot and a quick transfer at Caribbean Beach for Hollywood Studios. And you can even walk to the Caribbean Beach Skyliner station. It's about a 10-minute walk or so on a nice day by the water. It's perfect.
Yeah, agreed.
Their pool has a column tower with a slide that is fun for the littles, and then they have a second, quieter pool as well. And in terms of dining, it's home to our favorite character meal. We've talked about it before on all Disney property, and that's Topolino's Terrace. They have breakfast a la arte with Mickey and friends, and the food is phenomenal.
100%.
So good. The character interactions are absolutely wonderful. They take the time with your kids to take photos. It's not rushed, and it's been our best dining experience to date.
Yeah, 100%, hands down. And like they're wearing these cute little outfits.
So cute.
Minnie has a cute like French Riviera dress, and Mickey's wearing like an apron, and he's been painting, so it looks like he's got different colors on him.
And I'm not kidding with you. They do not rush. They like take their photos. It's wonderful.
Yeah, we had a great experience there, and we can't wait to go back. Yeah, 100%.
For transportation, Skyliner to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, like we said, and then it's buses to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom.
Yep, 100%. My number 2 is Beach Club. Okay, so Beach Club is over in the Epcot area resorts, and it's quite literally steps away from the International Gateway entrance. Okay, so the resort itself is okay. The lobby and rooms are good, but not amazing. Where this place shines is location and the pools. Okay, so this is home to Stormalong Bay and Shipwreck Pool. There's a life-size shipwreck, like legit, like a pirate ship that's been, marooned, a replica there, and a massive 230-foot water slide and a lazy river to boot. Okay, so the main pool area is just so good. The best on all of Disney property, hands down. It's not even close. They also have the tidal pool, the Admiral Pool, which is over at the Yacht Club, but available to Beach Club guests, as well as the Dune Coves Pool. In terms of dining, there's Cape May Cafe, which has a great character breakfast with Minnie and friends. There's Beaches and Cream, where you'll find the kitchen sink and some good diner eats and even better ice cream. Yes. And it's definitely worth a stop here. We don't want to give anything away, but if anybody orders the kitchen sink here, like a shebang happens. It's like a production. Yeah, the lights go off, lights come on. Anyways,
that's all we'll say.
Yeah, that's all we'll say, but I definitely recommend them.
It's fun.
Yeah, for sure. They've got several other options as well, including the restaurants over at Yacht Club and the boardwalk as well. Everything is just so close and walkable here. I love that area. For transportation, again, this is steps from Epcot, so literally your own 2 feet. 5 minutes and you're in the France Pavilion. It's that close. You can also walk to Hollywood Studios, but it's a bit of a trek, so just be mindful of that. You can also take the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios from here, since it's a step from the International Gateway Skyliner station. And then they also have friendship boats to and from Hollywood Studios back to Epcot area.
That's right.
Yeah. And then it's buses to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom.
And coming in at number 1, we both agree on this one completely, and that's the Polynesian Village Resort back in the Magic Kingdom area. So aside from Coronado, this is our number 1 overall as well. First off, the location is hard to beat. Yep. It's across the Seven Seas Lagoon from Magic Kingdom, and you can see the castle from the resort. It's on the monorail loop, so that's a really quick hop over to Magic Kingdom, which we love. Yep. And the monorail itself is kind of like a ride. Yep. So the vibes at the resort are extremely relaxed. Very chill vibes.
Yep, agreed.
You can literally feel that you're on vacation as soon as you step foot into that place. The lobby is so beautiful and smells amazing.
Agreed. Love it. The main pool here, the lava pool, has a massive slide and is overlooking the Seven Seas Lagoon and Magic Kingdom. And there's also the Oasis pool, which is a more quiet atmosphere.
We've been in both. They're both great.
Yep, agreed. In terms of dining, it's home to one of our favorite restaurants and one of the most popular on Disney property, and that's Ohana. The noodles, wings, pot stickers, bread pudding, everything here is good, and we absolutely love it.
So good.
Kona Cafe is like an underrated option, right? That's another table service restaurant right next to Ohana. It's really good as well. Try the Tonga toast. Tambu Lounge is attached to Ohana, and you can actually order some of the menu items from Ohana here after 4 p.m.
Absolutely.
Trader Sam's Grog Grotto is a fun experience that everyone should do at least once, and that's on the ground floor.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And it's super unassuming. The door, if you don't know it's there, you might not know that it's there, and it's super hard to get into. So what we suggest is if you're not staying there and you're not going to be like around to wait to get in, if you're there for like a reservation at Ohana, go check in, go eat, right? Look around the resort, check out the shops and whatnot, check out the pool, maybe grab something at Pineapple and I, and then when you're called, you can go back and have a drink there.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a good option.
Yeah, very fun atmosphere. Captain Cook is the quick service option. It's a solid. And then the pièce de résistance right next to the lava pool is Pineapple and I. Okay, so Dole Whip on demand. What more could you ask for?
I agree. And in terms of transportation, your own 2 feet or the monorail to Magic Kingdom, it's steps from the TTC. In fact, depending on what building you're in, you could actually very well be closer to the TCC, which is where you're going to catch the monorail to Epcot. And then it's the bus option for Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom.
Yep, exactly. So having said all that, the resorts we did not mention are not bad by any means. Okay, so whether that's Animal Kingdom Lodge or Contemporary Grand Flow, among others, anywhere you stay on Disney property will be great. Okay, so I've yet to stay or visit a resort that I thought wouldn't be worth a stay at. They all have their merits and will appeal to certain people. That's for sure. Okay, so it's just a matter of determining what's right for you and your family, what fits in your budget, and then you go from there.
Absolutely. These are our favorites, and you may disagree with our choices and our order, and that's completely fine. That's what's great about Disney Resort Collection at Walt Disney World. You have so many options.
Yeah, agreed, right? 25 plus. So absolutely. With that said, thank you so much for joining us today to talk Disney Resorts. If you haven't already, find us on Instagram at letsgo.todisney for more tips and Disney fun. We're also on Facebook. Our page there is Let's Go to Disney. Also, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, we'd sure appreciate it if you took the time to do that.
Yeah, and if you can find time to drop us a rating and review, it would really be greatly appreciated. It helps us reach more listeners, and that's why we started this podcast, is to help people have a great Disney vacation.
With that said, have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.